So, you know, we need to spend a lot of time digging in the source files to look for what went on. It's obviously a single load kind of thing. But yeah, it brings so much more richness when you start changing things up. That it brings that subtlety of your awareness of the self, of even what am I experiencing? Why is it evoking that in me? Why is it making me think of this? And then you can enjoy the nostalgia, but also enjoy more subtle understanding that you have of your own hooks and your own proclivities, your own interests and stuff. So.
It's so fun to mess. It's so fun to mess with these things in water with the physics.
Oh yeah, the air quotes physics. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, the quote unquote physics. Indeed. Speaking of AI, it is pretty cool to see. There are these AI bots. They try to get to accomplish a task, and it's amazing to see how some of these AI algorithms actually find a flaw in the physics engine to exploit to do what they need to do. Like,
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, because it's more energy efficient.
It's like their random crawl over a bunch of different variables found that yes, that the most efficient way of accomplishing the goal wasn't to like learn to bounce, was to like somehow jitter myself into the floor and then get launched out. The physics engine's so wonky to get launched out at 1,000 miles an hour.
Because if you think about it, that's the same thing a person would do if they had the opportunity to play it. If they found an exploit, they would definitely try that to get successful. They would, if that was the first thing they found, you know, they would probably try that.
All right, hey, give me a quick second. My wife's calling me to see what's up.
Sorry. About this house? No. Anyone seen entering or leaving? Any strange lights or unusual noises? It's abandoned, and it's always been abandoned. Excuse me, but do you know anything about this house? I'm with the Vigil of Stendar. We believe this house... I was actually... Follow me, and keep your eyes open. Daedra are powerful creatures and tricksters. Never know what you'll find.
Alright, sorry about that. Cool.
Hey, everything all right?
Oh, we're totally good. Yeah, she's she's almost home from work, and yeah, no biggie. We're good. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, we were talking about
This is the wife of EtherDynamics, and I have the same voice.
Doppelganger, no. About humans kind of hacking stuff.
Well,
honestly, that also gets back to the question about the AI and the loop-de-loop stuff we were talking about a minute ago. How because the vanilla AI, and again, I don't want to make one of those videos or have a rant where it's just crapping on stuff. But I'll say that like the default stuff that's built in not just Skyrim but a lot of games is really this AI that is so basic it'll just follow you in circles, right? It's this kind of like, I wouldn't even say like a cat brain, right? Like, I mean, cats, if you do that long enough, the cat will be like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, you make a cat chase a toy in a circle around a table, eventually the cat's like, I'm gonna wait for it to come around, or like, screw this, right? So we're talking about like lower the not mammalian, maybe below like lizard, like maybe invertebrate level intelligence here, right? There's like kind of like insect level brains they put into a lot of AI stuff, where it's just follow a thing in a circle or just pursue this one target no matter what. You could do these looping patterns where like even a cat would figure out, like cat, dog, puppy would figure out, like, this is stupid. I'm not gonna do this after a while. But
AI is so disconnected from what realistically something that could learn could do, which is why learning AI is so fundamentally crazy to see in games, because it's so close. It's so much closer to mimicking reality than to just have a set program. If you can learn what more effectively gets you to a task instead of just being told what to do to get to a task, then you can effectively make yourself seem so much more intelligent than what your limits actually would imply your intelligence would be. So like in the end, it would still just add up to get the player and kill them. But if there's so many more ways of approaching that and defining that is options that you can get, then it makes you seem a lot more intelligent, even if the end it is the same. If the means are more complex, it makes the whole operation seem more realistic and human in a way.
Well, yeah. I think what you said is, you actually hit the nail exactly on the head, because there's such a disjoint. And we talked a minute ago about art and mechanics and when they work hand in hand, right? But I think there's such a disjoint, such a disconnection when you have like this mollusk level brain or an insect level brain running this person, but they're controlling a human looking actor in the game, and you're like, no human is that stupid, right? Like it. I find that incredibly like that gnashes my perception gears because I'm watching something that's supposed to be, you know, a sophisticated human being, or you know, even a monster, even a fallen with like, you know, the, you know, semi-feral human intelligence.
Yeah, those
And
poor snow elves.
right, like the tragic story behind it, and it's all screwed up. But then like, but then they chase you in a circle like forever too. So yeah, it's like.
I mean,
it's
for
that
them, I guess
class.
it's more excusable because they're blind.
But you'd think if they were able to, you know, like they talk about the Falmer uprisings and how they actually posed a threat to the dwarves. The dwarves had to take, you know, the Dwemer had to take time to like put them down. And they're intelligent enough to create, like they make those little tent houses, and they craft.
Yeah, the
their
lore
armor
is
and
really
weapons.
disconnected from the actual gameplay.
Right, exactly. There are these breaking points between the because the lore is part of the art as well. It's the written word, it's the written art, but it's still art, right? It's not actual mechanical code that leads to a result. It's part of the visual and written package that's supposed to marry with the mechanics. And what is happening?
Not sure.
Ran sideways for a minute. Yeah, there's such a disconnect that you have when you see this humanoid creature and you have all this lore behind it. Oh, they were strong enough to require the full attention of the dwarves to put down the uprising, and then you see they make tools and they make houses, and it runs in a circle that not even a dog would do. Like, what the hell? Why? So, yeah, I mean, like, that's one of those things that. Right.
I don't mean to destroy your tangent there, but you want to know something interesting about these guys? These horses? Basically, no matter what your detection is, if these guys are hit by you causing damage, you will gain a 5 gold bounty, even if it's undetected and there's nothing
Sure.
around. Yeah.
The psychic horse.
Basically, if you hit this, it's not a horse. It's just it's a similar looking entity, so it can't have any really effects on it. It's basically immune to everything. This is broken.
Kind of an actor. Oh yeah, it's destroyed. Is it like? Is it a subclass of object reference or a subclass of actor?
I'm not actually sure if it's. I don't think it counts as a living being. I just think it's something that you can hit. It's an entity. It's definitely an entity. But if you hit it, and this guy jumps off, he doesn't get aggravated even if you keep doing it. He's like, "Hey, that's a valuable animal," and you get a 5 gold bounty, which will stack. It will stack, and you'll eventually get a bounty that will make you warrant being killed on death, even though the horse cannot really receive any effects. And even with console commands, I don't even think it. Yeah, nothing. It's not even.
You get AV health? It may not be a subclass. It just may be a straight up actor, right?
Get AV health. Does that look right?
I mean, the text looks like blobs to me. Oh, so it's a straight up actor. Okay, so it's an actor and it probably has a bunch of special flags in it. I thought they had a special subclass of actor or a special subclass of object.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what it is. It's just it's immune to pretty much every effect I found from testing and all that, and you get that bounty no matter what. So it's definitely a scripted event that if this takes damage, then you know you get a. If it takes damage that's caused by you, you get a 5 gold bounty no matter what it is, and it stacks.
That's so funny. Yeah, so it's not its own. I mean, it's possible it's still its own special, unique subclass.
I think it's based off a horse. I just don't think that it's actually a horse, because it would take so much special flags to put on a horse, and then just to have it stand there and do some static animations.
If you want to be a jerk, you'd always do damage, actor, value, health, and do 999, right? Just to see if it kills over.
Damage. Is that right?
Damage AV space health space and then whatever, how much you want to do.
Damage AV health space. Let's do 448. Yeah, nothing.
If his health was 667, then he's still alive, right?
It was 447.
It's 4. Yeah, it's so blocky I can't even see what that is.
Well, just to make sure.
So it's like it's got immortality or
what was that? What was that? Yeah, look, it has a. I don't even know how I would reference this because it has the quote and then the parentheses, so I don't even know what this thing counts as. So
if you clicked on it before and if you were able to get actor value, it means you're targeting the actor. Sometimes there could be mist in the way. That's the way to be sure if you're actually clicking on the actor or not. If you ever run that situation, if you scroll the mouse wheel, like if you click and then scroll through the mouse wheel, There you go. That'll go through all the things. Basically, it'll ray trace through everything. So like when you do that, you're probably part of all those IDs are probably the mist behind the horse and some other stuff. But if there's mist in front of the horse, that'll
Huh.
also help you get past it. You just use the mouse wheel to scroll past it. Kind of pain in the ass because a lot of places have excessive fog.
Horse.
Horse rib cage, horse colon. I don't know what you're poking at there. It appears to be like immune to. Oh. But
Fendel said, "Oh."
my. It's probably just an actor with some special flags or something set. Okay. Trojan horse comment here.
Insert Trojan joke here. No, it's a horse.
Wow. Am I done?
That's a new monument.
That should be kind of cool if someone just upscaled that and
Yeah, you can only go up to scale 10.
What happened to you, Path?
The Forsworn
These
have
guys.
taken Pulskager mine. We're the only ones left.
labor talk.
Pablo and I had to fight our
You
way
head
out of
inside and get
Polska.
some rest.
I'm not helping them. Fuck those guys.
Some
I'm actually not sure where I want to go. Should I go to Bleak Falls Barrow?
well, you can always
Continue to-
TMM and just go where the heck you want to go. What level are you right now?
I'm probably like 2 or 3.
Right. Oh, you're 3. Yeah, you'll get destroyed. Anything that's not scaled, you'll get destroyed.
But I'm just so good at combat. How could anything fight me?
If you want to go to the Reach, you could try to take on the Lost Valley. I don't know if that'll work out too well.
I use all of your mods that I'm able to get on the platform. I'm using every time I play. It's just they're just static mods, like I basically use them. If I'm gonna use the unofficial patches, I pretty much will have all your mods installed too. There's my default adding to every mod list, because it's just such a cool concept to me to have those. But
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
it's basically just my default go-to. I have a few mods that I almost always have installed. I didn't install every single one of them this time because I didn't want this to get too crazy, and plus I've had issues with modding and recording, so I tried to keep this a little smaller. But I usually have one that adds names to every default NPC, like the farmer, and farmer. One of them will they'll have like actual names for the races and stuff, which is pretty cool. And then I always have this one that's called Havoc punches or Havoc hits or something, where basically their face will have Havoc physics when you hit it with a weapon or something, which is
Oh, jeez.
yeah, which is
Crazy.
really really cool. And it also causes immense breakage, which is also really funny. But it only happens when you kill them, and because they don't cause their body to spaz out once in a while if you hit them like with a lot of force when they die. But
To be fair, Skyrim was notorious for having bodies jitter through the floor, jitter through the
yeah, but I
ceiling,
mean,
all
like
kinds of stuff.
when you also enable Havoc physics on top of that, then it gets crazy. So adding any Havoc to people doesn't usually go well, especially when you have a lot of Havoc on them. What is this?
I can
Oh, it's the
imagine.
witch.
I think it's yeah. it needs
Is
to
this
have
the
it.
witch? Yeah.
I'm just a poor old
There is a
woman
way to
who
get at the back end if
no
you go to
need
the
to
right,
trouble
but if you
yourself
want to
with
mess
me.
with her, you could obviously do that right now. Just in the interest of time, I don't have to peel out immediately, but I should probably peel out within the next, I'd say like half an hour or less. So just make sure we're
All right.
kind of shout out there for that.
It's so nice.
There you go. She's not that strong, thank God.
It's so nice. That's what she said when she died. Oops.
Yeah, thing that also got me about Skyrim, and again, I don't want to crap on a lot of games because Skyrim does follow in the tradition of what we're talking about here. Like, I mean, like the first open world games that I was familiar with were back in the Ultima series. I don't know if you've necessarily even heard of that one before. You ever hear of Lord British and the whole Ultima series from way back in the day?
No, I haven't.
I mean, this is like Commodore 64 era, so this is definitely like way hell old, right? So those were open world style games. Yeah, and if you go to the right, there's like a hidden staircase that gets you up to the tower, which is like right around the bend from what you call it. Keep actually see it. So.
Oh, what's this?
Oh, it's not a wolf. This. Back off, Bucky. Obvious indeed. Good noob, right? Best joke I ever saw was someone said there was blood everywhere. They're like, what's all this noob juice doing everywhere? And I was like, there goes. Like, ha ha ha, that's some good shit. Here's the hidden stair behind the tower. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So with Ultima, even the oldest games when that was first a thing, right? When the computer,
What's this?
Phase, the secret gap lets you phase through reality, right?
It's still a Squizzard vision.
So yeah, the one thing about the old games was still you had to go to a location. Squizzard.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. X. You still had to go to a location, like, you know, interact with, you know, like start a quest and then you go to a location and fight people there. But there always, you know, it was only by going into that spot, by going to that area that they spawned in, or they were relevant, right? You could walk by that same cave 1,000 times, and they're like, oh, it's the mysterious cave where like evil Lord Necromancer is going to take over the entire planet, and if you just don't go in there, like,
He never takes over the planet.
Like nothing happens.
Which reminds me of this one mod, I forget, but I think it's called Time Marches On or Time Passes or something along those lines, which basically I think it was work in progress last time I checked, like very work in progress. I talked with the mod creator and it was pretty cool. But basically things that can pass will typically pass without you. It makes the story less revolving around you. It's still just pretty much small things now. Like say, you know, like giant that the companions are fighting, if you don't go there for a while, then the giant will already be long dealt with and you'll miss that whole interaction basically if you don't head there. Because
Interesting.
Because they can't just be fighting that giant whenever you arrive. That's a weird thing to occur, right?
Right.
And it does also some other things. I forget, I haven't checked it in a while because it was still very work in progress back when I checked it, and it was still worth installing at that point, but I never really installed it because it didn't change too much. But I imagine it getting to the point, like when it's like fully more developed, that they didn't give up on it yet, that like you could, if you really wanted to, you could miss the Civil War, you know, that type of thing.
See, I wish that's I would bill for something like that in the
because that's what sold me. I never really ended up buying it because I heard a lot of mixed reviews, but that's what really sold me on Kingdom Come Deliverance. So you ever hear that game?
I've heard of it. Yeah, I haven't played it. But
I haven't played it. I think it comes free with my Xbox Ultimate subscription Game Pass or whatever. So I might try it out. But that's just me speculating. I think it was free. I think I saw it. But what really sold me on that was that if you don't help out like a faction when they're in a war, then they're not just gonna be in that war whenever you show up. If you miss it, then they'll be like they'll be dead or something like that, or like they'll have won the war and they won't like have expected you to help because they didn't even know you existed because you're a little whelp that couldn't have helped them. But if you don't help them, then you'll never get that chance to make them like grateful to you and all that stuff.
Right, no, that sounds awesome. That's exactly along the lines of where it makes the world feel so much more alive and so much less like this cardboard cutout that's just waiting for you to walk by and like insert your 25 cents to activate this, you know, this.
Insert 25 cents to become the savior of the world.
Pretty much, right? Yeah. No, totally. That's an awesome feature, and I do wish that was embraced. No.
I killed a Squizzard brother.
Bro.
Flash powder. What's the? Oh, it's from the. Oh yeah.
But yeah, I totally know what you mean. Where it's like, the world feels so much more alive. But yeah, you're not the only cardboard cutout. You know, like you're not the only savior where everyone else is a cardboard cutout waiting for you to come by to shake their hand to then say like, oh, meet me at this location.
And especially in that game, because in that game you really feel like you're almost like a victim to the world, because that world it tries its best to not revolve around you. Like, you repel that. Like, it is so not revolving around you. Like, you could get fucked up in the tutorial missions, like if you like try to be cocky and try to take on things that you shouldn't. Like, it's not a world that you mess around in, which also did scare me away from it a little bit, because I do like a world that you can mess around with, but like it definitely feels like a world that you're in, and it's definitely not like oh, it's just Dark Souls, everything kills you, but you're still on a path. Like, it feels like a world that you're living a similar life to the NPCs almost, in a way, because like they get into battles and they'll end up dying, and you feel like the same way. So like every single person that could be helping you actually feels like something that's helping you, instead of just like, an escort mission, or like, oh yeah, these guys will be fine, I'll just like ride behind them, because if they die, then that's your kind of like mainline defense. And it's just, there's so much safety numbers in that game, and it's really complex, that game. I never really got into it, and I've seen some gameplay of it. It seems definitely really different from Skyrim in a lot of ways, which that isn't a bad thing, because like I said, I love Skyrim. Oh, here's a start. You can start in Bleak Fall.
Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. Bound by wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire.